So, happy full moon reading with lots of happy cards. Well, the first two cards that I'm going to show to our lovely tarot community, these two, the Tower reversed and the Nine of Wands. And the next two cards that came out, it's kind of 4-card reading, the Fool and the Five of Swords reversed. So the Nine of Wands stands upright and starts this reading off, maybe indicating that this is a message of our healing journey. This is a message which has to do with us embracing what may be our pain, our trauma, the recognition of what is uncomfortable for us, and that this journey is the transformational journey of all of this fiery wands to culminate in the Ten of Wands eventually. But this is part of our journey on a spiritual sense, and this is us stepping into a more conscious healing experience, whatever that might be. And this nine speaks very much about a recognition, an owning, a seeing, an eye-opening experience of what our pain is, of where it is, where it sits inside of us, how it reflects on all different levels of our consciousness in the way we act and how we think and our emotional reactions to life in general. This, when we become intimate with our trauma, this is us actually seeing what we're afraid of and why we're afraid of it. This is us recognizing and maybe reliving some of our past fears and seeing the coping mechanisms and the habits and the belief systems that were born from trying to deal with an unsafe experience, or something that didn't feel comfortable, or something that was challenging, or something that was difficult, or something that repetitively caused us to be afraid and create and build a set of characteristics, qualities, build a personality, even build a certain set of beliefs around what is important, about what our safety looks like, about what is going to protect us. And this is the tower that we build. So when we have limited resources at a very early age in our life, everything is a trauma. Everything is a challenge. Anything can be dangerous. Simple, basic things will have strong emotional reactions and will feel painful. We are destined to, we need to experience this pain. We need to experience sadness. We need to experience loss. We need to experience grief. We need to experience it all. And yet we'll experience all of it, and it will feel uncomfortable for us at ages when the world is telling us, oh, how terrible that is. And I remember with my kids, or just seeing it as well over and over again, a child will look to their parents for their appropriate reaction. So they will fall over and hit themselves. They'll feel something, but they'll look to their parents to see what is appropriate as a reaction. If their parent goes, "Oh, that was good, wasn't it?" Hey, and laughs, then the child will laugh and learn that falling over and getting hurt, you can laugh at that reaction. But the normal reaction of a parent is, "Oh no, what happened? Are you all right?" And worry and fear and doubt. And a child learns to cry. We will learn a lot of our reactions from very early years in our life, and some of them are banal type reactions, so common that society has deemed those reactions as normal and made them natural, when in reality they might not be natural at all. But they are learned, they are taught, and they have been ingrained in our personality to create idea of our identity and to make us who we think we are. This is the tower. This is the tower that we've built with all sorts of beliefs about how to do things, how to react to different stories, how to react to pain, and what actually keeps us safe. And I was speaking to the group who joined me in this full moon reading today about the safety of that tower. And this tower is upside down because this tower is a sign of our identity. So we've built up an identity. We'll hold certain beliefs about ourselves, about life, that will keep me safe from the dangers of life, from the dangers of feeling things. And safety, we need to understand, is not just about protecting ourselves from physically challenging or physically dangerous stories, but safety is anything that protects us from an experience which we have told ourselves we don't want, have told ourselves is wrong and is bad. So we tell ourselves that any version of pain is wrong and bad, and so anything that leads to that needs to be avoided, and we will avoid it at all costs. We will keep ourselves safe from anything painful at all costs, and we'll do it in a multitude of different ways. And the ways that we have personally developed to keep us safe from feeling any version of pain and revisiting any version of trauma are going to be our own personal tower, part of our own personal keep yourself housed in, keep yourself safe, protected, and stop yourself from maybe feeling vulnerable, feeling weak, where you could be attacked, where you could have to face the humility of your failure, of your loss, of your lack, of your own inner sadness, of your own emptiness. So we've told ourselves that a lot of things that keep us from feeling maybe this fundamental emptiness on one level is a valid protection mechanism, is a valid protection idea, belief. But these beliefs will keep us small, they'll keep us hiding, they'll keep us blind, and they will stop us from seeing the truth inside of ourselves. This guy is about seeing it, is about facing it. He's allowing himself to feel the pain, is allowing herself to recognize that certain weariness, that I'm not sure if I trust life on the outside, but he's willing to jump out of the tower. He's willing to be raw. He's willing to fall to the floor. He's willing to take away the covering that's protecting us, take away all of those habits that we may have learned from family, learned from our society, habits that we've told are good and right in order to keep yourself safe. We don't teach our kids that pain is okay. We're not taught that in school. We're definitely not taught that death is a good thing, and anything that leads to death, pain being one of those things normally preceding that story, is and must be consequentially a bad and wrong thing. But pain is a real experience of our loss, a real experience of our emptiness. And we can't be real, be honest, be true with ourselves unless we experience it. We have to jump out of the tower of false beliefs and habits and coping mechanisms that we have built so that we can fall to the floor and see ourselves naked without all of the things covering us. We have to find that innocence and that purity of the fool once again, to leap into the unknown. And this card just came up recently for me, reminding me of why I chose to jump into this body and how easy it has been for me to forget why I made that conscious choice at one time, or why my soul chose to do so. And who knows, I might be making it all up, but it felt good. Felt good to remember. Felt good to think that that's what my soul chose. To think that that's what my higher consciousness picked out. The two upside down cards or reverse cards are this and the tower in this reading. And this 5 is all about this inner mental conflict that we have with ourselves, this fighting that we do with ourselves continuously, trying to find out what's right or wrong, trying to find out what is real or not real, true or not true, good or bad. And there's this leap that the fool asks us to take into the unknown. And what was beautiful about this card just recently coming up, and maybe why it's part of the reversed way of looking at it, and trying to look at a different way of reading this either raw black and white dynamic of the swords and the mind, where it's either you're either right or you're wrong. It's either this way or it's that way. What came up was the third path, and here in this card there seems to be a victor and then two losers that are walking away in some type of ashamed humility, or just bowing their head and a little bit sad because they might have lost that fight in some way or another. But we can, the richness of this reversal, and whenever it comes up reversed in for the last probably 20 years, because it was one of the cards that I dived into when it would come up over and over and over again for me in the tarot very early in my tarot journey. So I had to look at this very, very deeply, and it was probably one of the parts that I got deeper into sooner than all the others. There is the ability to go beyond the duality of the mind, to help our way of thinking not be so either or in nature, but to understand that there's always a third path and a way beyond. It's not just about winning and losing. It's about finding a way to win as you lose. You can walk away, but you don't have to give up your sword. You can walk away with your sword in your hand. This way, there's no fight. You can choose not to fight, but not give up your sword. You can hold on to your sword, your truth. You can keep your truth in your hand without bowing down to the beliefs of what is safe and what is not safe that may have been taught you, or you may have learned through copying, or you may have learned through just figuring something out that worked when you were younger, but something that no longer is applicable or no longer works for you now. Safety programs are really important programs in our life. They form the foundation of what protects us in our psyche. And yet, a lot of the programs that our mind is running on are outdated by 20, 30, 40 years. And we are still running on those same programs that protected us 30 years ago, thinking that this is the right way to act, the right things to do, the right reactions to have. And sometimes it's important to reconnect to that foolish faith that we have, that knows that there is a different way of walking our life, a different way of connecting to safety. And maybe the Fool reminds us of that in this reading, where walking off the edge of the abyss, completely safe. And yet, that's why we called the figure the Fool. But the safety is not based upon ideas or belief. It's based on that subtle connection that our soul has to the divine sun and the light from which we came. And I suppose that's really the only thing that could ever keep us safe in this world, is that connection to the sun or to the light. And any other version of what we think might keep us safe is part of our tower that we will probably be asked to jump out of over and over again. Have a wonderful full moon. I'd love to hear your comments. Much love to all. It's getting dark out.